Hello there, and thank you for checking out the video. Welcome back to Josie Chats Wrestling. Today's video, these are the top 5 things that need to happen in wrestling today. So let's start at number 5. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, needs to win the AEW Women's title as a matter of urgency. So when we look at this, Dr. Britt Baker, she's been fantastic. She's the best wrestler, arguably, in AEW. She's done some fantastic work. Obviously, following her recent Lights Out match with Thunder Rosa back on the AEW St. Patrick's Day taping and her recent win streaks and stuff, I think she's fantastic. And I think Shida, obviously, although he's been a really credible champion since she's had the belt back at Double or Nothing 2020, back in May last year, it's time for a change. Clearly on this week's AEW, they have built this tease that this match is going to happen. But this is the person finally to stop the Shida winning streak, because Shida hasn't lost a singles match since 2019. So let's stop the Shida winning streak. Let's give the belt to Dr. Britt Baker. I think she's going to be a fantastic champion. And I'm really hoping this happens, because for me, she has to win this. So number 4, the WWE 24/7 title needs to go back and become the Hardcore Championship and be defended in random places. So as a nostalgic fan, the Hardcore title was one of my favourite titles going back to WWF back in the late 98 and 2002, them type of times. Some great memories of it. It used to be defended in such random places as like a play pit and loads of different places like airports and stuff. The title would change hands frequently. You never knew what was coming next. It was a great tool to elevate wrestlers, and it was entertaining. It was on every pay-per-view. It was on Raw. It was on SmackDown, and it got everybody over it. Crucially, it got people TV time as well. For me, this 24/7 title, it's kind of been neglected. Obviously, since R-Truth kind of won it back from Joe Average back at Fastlane, we've not sort of seen it on TV, and it's time this title goes back to being the Hardcore title. This could be a really good way to get talent on TV that's not used. You could give Tozawa time on TV. You could get some great people. Like Elias could be a great Hardcore wrestler. This could be something that's really fun and nostalgic. Clearly, when they brought it back, when this 24/7 title started, it wasn't really brought back sort of in the right way. Although we had Mick Foley there, it's just one of the things kind of with this where we need to really see that. We need to go back, and it needs to be a Hardcore title, because I think it's so much fun. Obviously, the Hardcore title hasn't been seen in WWE since 2002, August, where Rob Van Dam was the last champion. But let's get this 24/7 title to the Hardcore title. WWE, please make that happen today. So number 3 now. This one's quite an important one. I think Ricochet and Ali need to be added to the United States title division and start being on television every single week. WWE really need to start adding a roster pool to challenge for the United States title. Same kind of with the Intercontinental title as well. They really need to start building up these middle of the road wrestlers that are fantastic, that don't get time. People such as Ricochet and Ali. Ricochet, such a good wrestler. Ever since he lost to kind of Brock Lesnar, the guy's never really recovered. I think for me, this guy could be a great challenger to Sheamus. I think he could do some great work. If they did do this, adding people to the United States division, I want it to be like the old Intercontinental title division, where we have people such as Chris Benoit, Jericho, Kurt Angle. You've got a selection of wrestlers at any time that can win the belt. And this should be a great opportunity to get people over. You could even put people such as Damian Priest in the division. And this would make your United States title must watch, rather than just change a belt pointlessly. Although Sheamus is the champion, it's just never really clear of who's going to be the next contender. It's not believable who's going to face him. So for me, let's increase the United States title division pool. Let's make it competitive. Let's do rankings. Let's get it so that people have to win matches to get a shot on the title. Let's not just hand out title shots and rematches for the sake of it. I really hope that kind of happens as well. So number 2, WWE needs to add factions to all brands. So currently at WWE, following this forming of Retribution and the Hurt Business, we have got no factions on WWE at all. I think you could say that sort of the Roman Dynasty is maybe a faction, but I don't count it. It's a tag team. It's only Jay, sort of Paul and Roman. So when we look at this, WWE obviously had some fantastic sort of stables in the past. When we look at it, they've had stables such as the NWO, D-Generation X. There's so many stables they've had that could be good. I really want to see them start adding stables. I think the whole purpose of a stable is that it gets multiple people on TV. It gets multiple people over at the same time as well. And it also gives everybody sort of something to do. If they build 3 stables up, say they build a stable on NXT, a stable up, you could say we've got Imperium. Imperium need to go that level above, really. I think Walter needs to be there every week. So say you had a stable on NXT, a stable on Raw, a stable on SmackDown. By the time we get to Survivor Series in November, you could have a 3-way stable warfare ready for the Survivor Series. So I really think that's what we need to do. And we're really missing factions. One of my favourite memories of the Attitude Era was when we had various stables. We had the Corporate Ministry, we had the Brood, we had D-Generation X, you had the McMahon Helmsley era as well. I think it's just one of them things. They need to do that, and I think it's great if your stables are good. We've obviously got Bobby Lashley without a stable at the moment. Let's give him some sort of stable that's better than Retribution members, Mason T-Bar, and I'd like to see potentially Keith Lee come back and be in some sort of stable. And on the SmackDown side, we need a counter stable to feud with Roman Reigns and Jay. They need to do something with that. They need to give somebody to help whoever's against Roman Reigns. I think that's the way they need to go down. So this was number one for me. Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. Obviously, at the moment, it's 3 hours. It's far too long. It's very hard to stick through 3 hours of Raw. It doesn't have the same feel as once 2 hours. Reminds me of WCW back in the 90s when they went from 2 hours to 3. Nobody really cares about the third hour. The crowd are kind of lost by that on sort of the Thunderdome. Nobody's really invested. By the time the third hour comes, you just want the show to end because of the time it runs. I would also be a fan of them repackaging it. I'd love to see it go back to Raw is War. Let's make it a bit more gritty. Let's make it sort of a bit more sort of generic rather than riddled with birds flying out. Let's make it something that we have this must-see television. Obviously, with the television deal, if they insist on having to have a third hour, why not do a 2 hour Raw and make the last hour like the best of show, like the best matches in history or something, like world title matches in the past or something. Let's do something nostalgic for that last hour, or at least do something gritty. Because for me, at the moment, Raw is floundering. And I think if they did a 2 hour Raw, for that 2 hours, you're going to get something action-packed. They'll have to pack lots in, but it's going to be worthwhile. Let's start making the main event worthwhile. Let's start really building stuff up. Instead of announcing matches that don't happen, as per this week when we had Braun Strowman and Randy Orton not happen, even though they hyped it all weekend. But this has been it for me. Thank you for obviously checking out the video. Please let me know in the comments below if you would agree with any of the top 5. What would you like to see change in wrestling today? And yeah, I appreciate you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Also, please, if you can, subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 120 subs, and that's our next target. This has been Jonesy Chats Wrestling. I hope you enjoyed the day. Thank you for watching, and peace.